Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Litera Learning webinar on enhancing documents with the new DocXtools Companion. My name is Allison Kim, and I'm the marketing coordinator here at Litera. Before we jump into today's topic, I'd like to run through a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded, so in case you can't stay for the entire session or would like to pass it along and share it with your colleagues, we will email you a copy of today's recording within the next day. We will also have time at the end for questions, so if you have any questions, you can submit them into the chat panel and we'll address them at the end of the session. If we happen to run out of time or cannot address the question during today's live session, we will follow up with you personally afterwards. With that said, I would like to introduce our presenter for today, Leslie Balser, a customer adoption specialist here at Litera. Leslie, it's all yours.
Thanks, Allison. Hi, everyone. As Allison said, my name is Leslie Balser, and I'm a customer adoption specialist here at Litera Microsystems. I currently sit on the customer success team. I have some history in both legal and technology space, and a background in training, customer service, and data analytics, which will hopefully help me use those skills to help with your user adoption. I'd like to take a moment to set out our agenda for the webinar. Today we'll briefly discuss the document lifecycle, how DocXtools Companion fits into that lifecycle, some common problems you might face, and how DocXtools Companion can help with some of these issues. And lastly, we'll show our new guided experience for our numbers feature within DocXtools Companion. We won't go into too much detail for those of you who are familiar with DocXtools Companion. And if this is your first introduction with DocXtools Companion and you want more information, you can visit our support site or reach out to us, and I'll post the support site at the end of this presentation. As I mentioned, I wanted to take a step back and look at our document lifecycle briefly so that you can understand where and how DocXtools Companion fits in. The solutions we offer here at Litera Microsystems allow us to focus on everything from drafting all the way through the execution portion of a workflow. Our products empower lawyers and support staff to create higher quality documents in less time. And we do this because we know that people are not starting documents from scratch. Instead, most use model documents and work from there. So how do we help in this scenario? The drafting and document production process is filled with inefficiencies and risk. Our products are meant to improve the productivity while mitigating the risk. And as we said, we know that lawyers are often not creating new documents every time. Instead, they're copying and pasting existing Word products, which can cause issues with formatting, cross-references, and table of contents. And we have a suite of products that can assist with the document lifecycle. But for the purpose of today, we'll focus on DocXtools Companion, which is meant to resolve the most common document issues with the click of a button. And as you'll see later in the demonstration, we've made some changes based on customer feedback to slow down some of the analysis and to give our users more control and some guidance on where there's problematic numbering and where there isn't, as well as tie it more tightly with the firm's numbered style collection. As a whole, DocXtools Companion is meant to reduce the time spent on document revisions and to reduce reliance on support teams. It does this by providing streamlined functions to fix common errors, which helps decrease dependency on document processing for certain issues. It allows users to significantly reduce unbillable hours and focus on clients' needs, and it's designed to improve common issues faced in documents. This is especially beneficial for lawyers who don't have time to attend new software training. It's an end-to-end solution utilized by a wide range of users, and unlike some of our other products which require additional resources and assistance to get the software installed and configured, DocXtools Companion is intuitive and requires little training. It's meant to be used right out of the box and work right after you install it to help you create higher quality documents when you need them the most. One thing I should note is that this is truly a separate product from DocXtools. If you own DocXtools, you likely have access to DocXtools Companion. However, DocXtools Companion is not meant to replace DocXtools. This is a completely separate installation, and as you can see, you have the options of putting this on your ribbon, and that's either on the Home tab in the first or last group, or what many people are doing is putting this on their Litera tab, so that all of their Litera tools can be accessed from one ribbon and in one view. You'll notice the new Guided Experience option, which is coming in the next release of DocXtools Companion. If you want to turn on this new numbering feature, the only way to do that is here, in the installer via that checkbox. If you want to use DocXtools Companion in the original mode, you can still do that if you like the current way that things are running. Or if you want to install both options, because let's say one office likes the original mode and the other office prefers the new Guided Experience, you can do that as well. In the same vein as the installer, in order to use the in-firm list templates, you'll need to specify a location for DocXtools Companion to look for these templates. The firm list templates need to live within a standard folder location and not within a database. This folder location path will need to be copied and pasted into a text field during installation, and that can be done here. There are 3 common problems that DocXtools Companion is meant to help with, and I'll go through them briefly. First is the numbers function, which analyzes a document's content and identifies paragraphs that should be numbered, and it will update them. This function uses existing templates and number patterns when adjusting the numbering in a document. And in the event that there are no template or numbering styles that fit the content of the document, it will create its own list template and style for the numbering. Next is the cross-references function, which addresses section references issues by analyzing a document for potential numbering and referencing issues that can cause errors when adding new content and updating them. You typically use this function if you're planning on creating or fixing broken section references. And table of contents. And this function is used to seamlessly create, update, and automate a table of contents. You can quickly generate and insert a table of contents, use the cleanup functionality to fix all of the common issues that occur when a document has been converted from a PDF. And with that, we'll go into the demonstration of our new guided numbering experience with DocXtools Companion. So as we saw moments ago when we discussed the installer, you can decide where to put DocXtools Companion. As you can see here, I have mine under the Litera tab, and you can see numbers along with cross-references, table of contents, PDF cleanup, and cleanup, which are all of your DocXtools Companion buttons. If you're familiar with the product, you'll notice the difference when I click on the numbers button in just a second. With the original setup of DocXtools Companion, you'll get your usual black box behavior, which shows the software running through and trying to fix numbering with pretty large autonomy. One thing we wanted to do was slow that down, and again, give users more control over the problematic numbering and link it more closely to your firm style collection. So you'll see now with the guided numbering option turned on, this loads a task pane on the right where you can see it in a loading state, while the engine analyzes the document, showing the items in a list for your review. The task pane will display either one or multiple stacked lists, depending on how many numbered list styles there are within your document. You can see that here. There's list 1 and list 2. You can click into each list to view the firm list template numbering convention if needed. And if you hover over here, list 1, you can see it points to the general outline style template. And again, list 2 is pointing to your schedule style template. You're also able to click into the list and navigate each list using the arrow buttons here, which will take you to each instance of your list within the document, and it will highlight it for you. You can see the quantity here, which lists out that it's 5. You can also see that here. If you're familiar with Contract Companion, which is one of our other products, some of the buttons at the bottom of the task pane might look familiar to you. We'll start with the Check All button, which is that one here, and it does just that. It will check off, and you can see here, each item in your list. You can do this if you want to take mass action on the items in your list by using some of the other buttons at the bottom, or if you wanted to generate a report using this button here. It will generate a separate report out on a new document that you can use to share around or use as you see fit. And it can be shared with anyone regardless of if you have access to the software or not. You'll also see that you have the option here to skip items. So if you determine that you don't need to pay attention to them or you don't need to take action on these items, you can skip them in a couple of different ways. If you click into the list, you have the option to skip here by clicking the button. As you can see, that item will fall off of your task pane, and let's say for whatever reason in your workflow you wanted to bring it back, you have that option by clicking the filter button here and selecting your skipped item. So as you can see, it puts it back in your list, but the category has changed to skipped. So you can also click in here and decide if you want to show this again, which will change the category back to issues found. You can also select the item here and click the skip button down here. And again, you can see now that it's changed your category to skip. And again, if you want it to return to your task pane, you can just click show. Another option that you have is to skip based on level. So you can see that over here under the category, and let's say there were multiple levels here in your list. You can right-click and choose to skip just a level. By clicking that there, you can see that it crosses it off for you and lets you know that it's being skipped. And same, if you'd like to return this to your workflow, you can right-click and hit Enable Level. The other action item you have is the Fix button here, which you can also see down here. So say you want to fix everything in your list on the task pane, you can check all and click Fix, and it will run through that for you. Or you can click the Fix option here, and you'll notice that it took a second, but it ran through your list, fixed it here, and once you click in, it lets you know with this green checkbox here that there are no issues found. You can also see here that everything looks good, and again, there's green indicators over here that this list is fixed. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you is if your document can't locate your firm's template. So here I have the document pointing to this style template here, but if I rename it to fake it out so it can't find the template, and return back to the document, we'll rerun numbering so you can see. Once you click into the list, it will let you know using this here that there are no approved styles found. And if you choose to click Fix, it will create a new list for you. So again, just something that we wanted to bring to your attention in case you can't see these or can't locate your firm's style templates. We'll let you know that by indicating it here. And with that, that's the end of the demo. I wanted to leave it open for some questions and answers.
Great. So we're going to take a minute just to look at the questions that we're receiving, and then we will get right back at it. All right, so our first question is, can only one template be used, and also can the location be a network share?
Yep, so you will need to move your numbering into a document or template during the installation process, which I showed in an earlier slide. And it will point to the installer on the location or the network, or you can also point it to a user's PC, where that template or the documents or templates live. And you can have multiple schemes in a single template, or you can have a single scheme spread across multiple templates. So that's your choice. So if you have a different number style with different practice groups, we want to keep the collection together, you can do that. And our analysis engine will look at that location and document to do its matching to find the best styles to apply.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll just take another 30 seconds to review any more that might be coming in. So hold on just a second. Okay, another question is, do all the tools in DocXtools Companion have the task pane view added?
So they don't. So at the moment, that numbers button is the only one where you'll see that task pane view on the right-hand side. Some of our other products, like Contract Companion, will show that for a lot of the different buttons. But in this instance, right now, this is the first one that we're rolling out.
Great, thank you. So we're receiving a lot of questions right now, and we can't address them at the moment, so we will follow up with you afterwards. So if you have any more questions, keep submitting them. There's just too many coming in for the chat panel to process them. You can also use the contact information on the slide that you're viewing right now to ask any more questions that might pop up after this session. With that said, before I end today's session, I just wanted to remind everyone that you will receive a copy of today's recording, and you can view any upcoming and also past webinars by visiting litera.com/webinars. All right, thank you, Leslie, for presenting, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. We'll give you 10 more minutes of your day back.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.